Hello, this is Maria from mathmammoth.com. In this lesson, we're going to look at some equations with fractions. When solving an equation that has a fraction, the usual and often the most efficient way is to multiply both sides of the equation by the denominator of the fraction, or denominators if there's several. But sometimes you can start out in a different way, such as distributive multiplication, if there are parentheses. So let's try that. I have this same equation here twice, so let's solve it twice using two different ways. 2 times the quantity x minus 3 equals 4/5. There's a fraction, so I could start out by multiplying both sides by 5, the denominator. What do I get? 5 times 2 times x minus 3 equals 5 times 4/5, which is just 4. See, we got rid of the denominator now. Here we need to simplify this. 5 times 2 times this, so we get 10 times that. And now we distribute the multiplication. 10x minus 30 equals 4. Here I will then add 30, leaving only 10x here and 34 on the other side. And lastly, divide by 10. X equals 3.4 or 34/10 as a fraction, which would simplify to 17/5. Alright, and now let's do the same equation, but we will start by distributing the multiplication. So here I will take 2 through the parentheses here and get 2x minus 6. The other side is not changing. And now I could multiply by 5. I also see another way, and that is I could add 6. Let's add 6 to both sides, so we are left with 2x. And here, add 6 to that, we get a mixed number, 6 and 4/5. And then, divide by 2. This happens to be an easy one to divide by 2, because I can do it separately. 6 divided by 2, and then this fraction divided by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And then 4/5 divided by 2. You know, if you have 4/5 of a pizza left and 2 people share it evenly, each person gets 2/5. Alright, did we get the same? 17/5 is exactly 3 and 2/5. So yes, we got the same result. And this answer, whether you give it as a mixed number or a fraction, would depend if there was an application associated with this. Was this some kind of word problem? Would it make sense to give the answer as a mixed number or fraction? If it is strictly a mathematical problem, no word problem, no real-life application with it, then fraction is usually the way we would go. Let's do the same again, but try these equations yourself first and see if you can find two different ways to start. Again, I have a fraction and then I have a quantity in parentheses. So I could distribute multiplication first, or I could multiply by the denominator first. So let's say that I multiply by 5 first. 5 times 2/5 times x plus 1 equals negative 15. And now I simplify here. 5 times 2/5. The 5's cancel. So I'm left with 2 times the quantity x plus 1 still equals negative 15. Okay, now I could distribute the multiplication. Or I could divide both sides by 2. There's these two ways right here also. I'll distribute the multiplication. 2x plus 2 equals negative 15. Now subtract 2. 2x equals negative 17. Lastly, divide by 2. X equals this negative fraction, negative 17/2. Alright, and so what happens if I start by distributing the multiplication here? I would get 2/5 times x plus 2/5. And so what do we do here? 2/5 times x, and then I have this number equals negative 3. Well, to isolate the term with x, I would subtract 2/5. That leaves 2/5 times x on this side. Over here we have negative 3, and then subtract that, so it's a negative mixed number. Negative 3 2/5. I might want to write this as a fraction. It will be easier to handle. So there's 15 plus 2, negative 17 fifths. And then what? Well, you could multiply both sides by 5, or you could divide both sides by 2 fifths. Let me multiply by 5. So 5 times 2 fifths. The 5's will cancel, we're left with 2x. And here also, this fraction times 5, the 5's will cancel, we're left with negative 17. Now divide by 2. And we arrive at the same root as in the other solution. So all is well. Over here, is this equation solved correctly? Now, if I start checking this root, if I put 4/3 in place of this here, 3/8 times 4/3 minus 4, will I get 0 from here? The 3's cancel, and 4/8 is just 1/2. 1/2 minus 4 definitely is not 0. So no, it does not check. There's an error in the solution, but where? What did the person do? From this step, from the beginning to this step, the 3/8 became 3. Okay? So apparently they multiplied by 8. And 0 times 8 is 0. But that's where the error is here, that this 4, the term 4, should have also been multiplied by 8. So let's try it again here. And let's solve it correctly. 8 times both sides. 8 times this here, and 8 times 0 is still 0. But now we see that 8 times this whole quantity here, we need to use the distributive property. 8 times this minus 8 times the 4. So it becomes 8 times 3/8 times x minus 32. Now the 8's cancel. We get 3x minus 32 equals 0. Now add 32. And lastly divide by 3. 32/3. Okay, let me check that. Is this root correct? I will plug it in right here. 3/8 times 32/3 minus 4. Will that equal 0? I could put it like this. Equals and a question mark. Here, 3's cancel and 32 divided by 8 is 4. 4 minus 4 equals 0. So yes, it checks. All is well. Okay, and this is all for this lesson. I hope it was helpful.